All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashem Shah, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Shah. All right. And what I want to get into today, dealing with Proverbs, the 29th chapter. Okay. And we're living in some beautiful times, till the Lord is gathering his sons, okay, in these last days. Beginning with the first fruit, the 12,000 men from each tribe, okay, that's going to assist Yahweh Shai as Yahweh Shai is getting ready to come back and conquer the earth in righteousness. Okay, this is why we see all these moves being made, for the devil, okay, to attempt to establish a new world order. And we have this war, all right, that's formulating. And this all represents the end of an age. This is the end of Esau. This is the end of a wicked empire. Okay. So as Esau is on the decline, okay, and he's through his desperation trying to reestablish himself in the earth, okay, Yahweh Shai is coming to finalize this man's kingdom. Okay. And the Lord already has it set up where he's putting together, okay, a government to rule the earth in righteousness when this government topples, man. Okay? So we're living in some beautiful times. We're living in the time, all right, of that last regime change. We're living in a time where the earth is going to go from being ran in wickedness to being ran in righteousness forever, with the emphasis on the forever, eternal. Okay? So I want to go here in Proverbs 29. Well, before I get that, um, let's get this in the book of Psalms 50. Okay, this is the book of Psalms 50 and 20. It says, "Thou sittest and speak against thy brother, thou slanderest thy own mother's son." And this is speaking of Esau to the wicked. Okay, because as the Lord has given this man an opportunity to rule the earth, okay, all he's done, was put emphasis on slandering, the true chosen people, okay, and establishing a wicked empire. Even claiming himself to be the chosen, which is, the biggest lie ever told. Okay. So this man's kingdom is based on deception and slander towards the true people. As he paints this picture of Jake, it's just what they call scientific racism. It's just, it's in Jake DNA to be wicked. Okay. Or Jake is inferior when it's the exact opposite, man. Okay. Now, Jakes, like I said, you do have Jakes that are, extremely wicked in this setup. Okay, but you're the source of that. You Edomites are the source of how niggas are today. And niggas are guilty for, forwarding, okay, your wicked agenda, okay, and playing out the part that you have them, that you have projected to the world, as the standard of, the tribes, okay? And there's a judgment for that as well, you see? But there's no judgment greater than the judgment that's coming to you devils, man. All right, verse 21. It said, "These things have thou done, and I kept silence. Though it said, though thou thoughtest I was altogether such as one as thyself, but I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes." Okay, so the Lord kept silent. As the devil, ran the earth in righteousness. He projected the tribes to just be this inferior. He projected the tribes to be the problem of the earth. Even now, you look at, the scapegoat that he pushes in his media is Jake. Okay? I say Jake is a problem. All right? Jake is a problem you created, that you financed and that you enchanted. Okay? But that doesn't exempt you from being the wicked and being the source of their problem. You see? So in this kingdom, this man makes Jake the scapegoat, okay, for the world's problems. Like that dissolves him, like that, exonerates him. Nah, man, you're being reproved. You see, Esau declining from power is the Lord reproving this nigga. As he's, trying to do, coups, and, he's trying to do this and make this move, and, tariffs, and, he's all over the goddamn place, man. Okay? But what's happening, the moves he make is working against him now. And that's the Lord reproving this devil. And then he has the prophets telling him about himself, why he's being reproved, why he's finna be removed from power. And those same men that the Lord has raised up to shake the hand of the devil, these are the same men that the Lord is finna establish with Yahweh Shai and rulership, man, forever. It's a beautiful story, man. It's a beautiful ending. Okay, it's a very dramatic, drawn out story, man. Okay, of the nation of Israel. You see, beginning with the elect in this time. You see, now let's go back to Proverbs 29. So you go to Proverbs 29:4, and I'm gonna read this in the NLT. It says the king establishes, okay? It said the king establishes or stabilizes the land by justice, and that's what Yahweh Shah coming to do. See, everything is so chaotic because the wicked is in power. Okay? That's why you read it said the king establishes and stabilizes the land by justice, but a man who takes bribes overthrows it, man. Okay? And we know this devil is a greedy man. Okay? He's all about extorting the nations. He's all about gaining more wealth and more power. Okay? He's an unfit ruler, and the earth is so destabilized. And see, Esau loves when things are destabilized because he loves to keep people distracted, okay, because he can inject more wickedness into society. Because even these third world countries, a lot of those third world countries are just, havens where this devil can do wickedness because no one is concerned about what happens in the third world country. Okay, so he can do his XEX trafficking, he can do his experiments, he can do this, he can do that. Okay, freak offs and all this. He can do these things in these third world countries. He loves when things are destabilized because this devil thrives in chaos, man. Okay, but it says a righteous king will establish stability to the land, and that's what Yahweh Shai is coming to do. And see, we see a glimpse of it by how this wisdom establishes stability in our life, in our day to day. Okay, just applying this wisdom and living by this word, we see that it stabilizes our life, man. Okay, it gives us stability. It establishes us, man. Okay, we have a footing. Okay, because we're built on what? That rock, Yahweh Shai. Okay, but this devil, he thrives off chaos, man. When you look at the world, the earth is destabilized. People are destabilized, man. Okay, people are all over the place, man. Like I say, traffic is a big indicator, man. When you're in traffic and people driving all frantic, and it shows that that's a mind that's destabilized, man. Okay, racing to nothing, running to nothing. Okay, but you just look at people how they move, their decision making is very, all right, destabilized and chaotic. Okay, that's because of the rulers. You see. But Yahweh Shai, he's coming to stabilize the whole earth with justice, man. Okay? And it says, a man who flatters, this is back in Proverbs 29:5. It says, a man who flatters his neighbor with smooth words, intending to do harm, is spreading a net for his own feet. Because this devil, he has flattered people with this idea of liberty, justice, freedom. Okay? It's an ideal. It's not real. Okay? It is flattering words. Okay, women's equality, women's rights, justice, equality, this, he throw these words around. And it's flattery. Okay? It's nothing but flattery, man. Because he needs to flatter you into this trap. And the latest flattery gonna be this new world order. Okay, this digital system. He's gonna present it with flattery. Okay, you can heal the blind, you can make the paralyzed walk. You can do this and so much this and the convenience and okay. You don't have to, you don't even need retirement anymore. The AI is going to produce so much. You can enjoy, you can just enjoy the earth while the AI does the work. Okay? AI, you get the AI pension check. You see? So this devil, he's going to present this flattery because he's setting a trap. But see, he's setting a trap for himself. Okay? Everything that this devil is set up, okay, this whole time this devil has been ruling, he's just been setting a trap for himself, man. Now everything is going to work against this devil that he's established. All this flattery, lying, and democracy, and you know the illusion of people having say so. Okay, all these things are now finna work against this man, and that's why you get to verse 6. It says, "By his wicked plan, an evil man is trapped." This devil is trapped. You see, he's trapped right now. Okay, he got all these nukes throughout the earth. All these militaries have, duplicated themselves based off of him. So now you have all these, militaries in the earth that's becoming hostile to him. You see, he depended so much on his AI and technology, but now he's seeing his AI and technology ain't sufficient for what he want to do. So he's in a trap. Okay, this man is in a trap. And also in Greenland, he knows, okay, these data centers need to be cool. So even with Greenland, which is it's always multiple reasons why the devil makes a lot of moves that he makes. But also in these cold climates, he want to build these data centers for cooling purposes, man. Okay? Because his technology is very insufficient for him to try to play the Most High. He pushes like he got this thing figured out. This devil is lacking, man. Okay, terrible idea, but he's too far into the idea now. His ambition has trapped this nigga, man. Hey, the Most High played this nigga perfect to the T, man. And that's why even in Proverbs 11, I like to get this one as well. Okay, but the Most High got this nigga in a trap. He done talk so much about Iran that he gotta go deal with him. He'll look like a straight coward, man, if he don't go deal with Iran directly, man. The Most High got this nigga in the trap, man. Okay, because we know dealing with Iran, that's prophecy, man. Because it's not about Iran, it's about prophecy. See, when he go directly in Iran, then he run head first into prophecy of this third world war, which is going to bring all these major powers into this war. Okay, and it's going to end, okay, in the nuclear exchange where America is turned into a desert. America's get melted, okay, by these other nations, man. Okay, but this nigga done talk too much shit. You see, he done talked himself right into the trap, man. Okay, so you go to Proverbs 11. Okay, I want to get this in the I think the NLT the one. I read this in the AMP too. I'm reading NLT as well. Proverbs 11:6. It says, "The righteousness of the upright will rescue them," and that's the elect being delivered. And our righteousness is of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shah, serving our power and having faith. That's our righteousness, man. Being obedient, okay, Hey, waiting on the salvation of the Lord, that's our righteousness, man. Because it's gonna take faith to do that. Okay? So our righteousness is of Yahweh Shai, as the scriptures say, man. So us conforming to Yahweh Shai. Okay, that standard that the Most High set. Okay, so us conforming to Yahweh Shai, that's our righteousness, man. Okay, and through faith, and having faith in these times, it's going to solidify our righteousness. Okay, through Yahweh Bashim Shai, and it's going to get us rescued out of this situation. Okay, the elect of Israel, you say. So it says the righteousness of the upright will rescue them, but the treacherous will be caught by their own greed. So this devil, he's put himself in a trap based on his own greed. Okay? He can never have enough wealth. He can never have enough power. So he always trying to make some type of move to get both. Okay? He can never sit his ass down. Like I said, death, he can never be satisfied. And that's a recipe for self-destruction, man. Okay? When you can't be satisfied, okay, the only thing you can do is destroy yourself. Because you have no guardrails. Okay? Your logical thinking shuts down, and greed takes over, man. So this devil, he's trapped by his own greed and his own ambition, and that's why when you go into verse 6 in the NLT, it says the godliness is Proverbs 11:6 in the NLT. The godliness of a good person rescues them. The ambition of treacherous people traps them. The ambition of treacherous people traps them, man. Okay? So this devil is so treacherous and so ambitious, but now he's in a trap. He got so many different lies and all these different false narratives that he's trapped himself in there. Okay? He has put himself in a trap, man. All right? Trying to maintain all these lies and narratives and all this treachery, all this double crossing and triple crossing. Because World War III is going to be a lot of double crossing and triple crossing. Okay? That's just going to lead to all out war. Because these devils, they're in agreement. These nations are in agreement to a one world order system. These nations are on board with this digital, new world order currency. Okay. But remember, these are thieves, man. These people, all right, ain't got no honor and integrity, man. Dealing with Esau, Edom. Okay. So these devils are not going to do right and just, ride off into the sunset in perfect harmony. No, there's a lot of treachery. They got snares and traps set for each other because he's so ambitious. Okay, everybody is always making a play amongst these devils to level up. Okay, and it's going to lead to war. All right, and it's going to lead to their end. Okay, so that's why when you go here to back to Proverbs 29. Okay, Proverbs 29:6. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 29. In verse 6, it says, but it says, by his wicked plan, an evil man is trapped, but the righteous man sings and rejoices, for his plan brings good things to him. The righteous man sings and rejoices. Okay? And what's going to be the ultimate fulfillment of that? Let's get Revelation 15:1. And it says, and I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of the Most High. And that last plague is the nukes. There's nuclear war, which America's going to be turned to the lake of fire. Okay, and by this time, we're on the chariots, man. Okay, because the Lord said he will save us from 6 troubles, and then the 7th shall no evil touch thee. That's those missiles, man. Because we're being on chariots by the 7th plague. America be on fire. The militaries of the earth will be put down by Yahushua. Okay? And what we're going to be doing on those chariots. And I saw, all right, as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, that's looking at America on fire through the atmosphere in the chariots, man. Okay? And it says, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast and over his image and over his mark, and over the number of his name, standing on the sea of glass, having the harps of the Most High. So those that didn't bend the knee, because it's written for the elect not to bend the knee to the system, man. Okay, not to take their sea hip, even in death. Those that died, all right, refusing the sea hip. Those that died in Yahweh Shai, they're going to be on those chariots first. Okay, when those that remain, the elect that remain, they didn't refuse. They refused the chip. They didn't take the MOTB. Okay, because of faith in Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. Okay, are going to be called up. Okay, are going to be beamed up into those chariots, man, to be reunited with those that died in Yahweh Shai. Okay, and we're going to be all on that chariot, man, with Yahweh Shai as America is burning. Okay, all that overcomes this beast, man. You know, and it says, and they sing the song of Moses and the servant of the Most High. All right, and the song of the Lamb, saying, "Great and marvelous are thy works, Lord, power Almighty. Just and true are thy ways, thou King of the saints," man. You know, so this gonna be us rejoicing, man. It's gonna be our moment of rejoicing. Okay, in those chariots, man. You see, that's gonna be the end of the fight. Okay, because we're gonna be changed. We're gonna be immortals, man. And this is what, serving Yahweh Shai ends with, this great triumph and this great reward. You know, so that's the point. Just want to get into that. Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you sisters edify once again, and give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadash. And double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessings say to the hopeful Shalom.